I'm very grateful to all of you that you have given me this opportunity to speak on such a special day. And I sincerely seek blessings of all Srila Prabhupada's disciples, the senior most devotees who are sitting here, that I'm a very tiny devotee, and in your presence please empower me so that I can speak some few words. I seek your blessings. So today we are reading from the 9th canto, 10th chapter, 55th verse. Premanuvritya shilena prasyavannata sati bhiyariya cha bhavagnya bhartu sita haranmana premanuvritya shilena prashyavanata sati bhiyariya cha bhavagnya bhartu sita haranmana premanuvritya shilena prashyavanata sati bhiyariya cha bhavagnya bhartu sita haranmana. Charavanata sati bhiyariya cha bhavagya. Already have that. Prashyavanata sati bhiyariya cha bhavagnya bhartu sita haranmana. Vaishnavis. Premanuvritya shilena prashyavanata sati bhiyariya cha bhavagnya bhartu sita haranmana. Premna anuvrittaya, because of service rendered to the husband with love and faith. Shilena, by such good character. Prashraya avanata, although very submissive and ready to satisfy the husband. Sati, chaste. Bhiya, by being afraid. Riya, by shyness. Cha, also. Bhavagna, understanding the attitude of the husband. Bhartu, of her husband. Sita, Mother Sita. Aharat, simply captivated. Mana, the mind. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Mother Sita was very submissive, faithful, shy and chaste, always understanding the attitude of her husband. Thus, by her character and her love and service, she completely attracted the mind of the Lord. Purport. As Lord Ramchandra is the ideal husband, Ekapatni Vrata, Mother Sita is the ideal wife. Such a combination makes family life very happy. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat eve tarojana. Whatever example a great man sets, common people follow. If the kings, the leaders and the brahmanas, the teachers would set forth the examples we receive from Vedic literature, the entire world would be heaven. Indeed, there would no longer be hellish conditions within this material world. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Taruvyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are very fortunate today to hear about Mother Sita on her appearance day. We have seen that all the scriptures which are given by Srila Vedavyas and Narad Muni, they are always very entertaining and enlightening. We have seen that whenever we hear the pastimes, the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, they really touch our hearts. They entertain us, but simultaneously they also enlighten us. There is deep knowledge, and which is knowledge which is not confusing, which is very, very crystal clear. So if we learn the lessons from Ramayana, then it will be very easy to face the material energy, to fight against Maya in our process of Krishna consciousness. We should hear Ramayana or about pastimes of Ramchandra and Sita in the mood of King Kulashekhar. King Kulashekhar was a great devotee of Lord Ramchandra, and he was a very great king. And every day he would arrange that the Brahmanas would be speaking from the pastimes of Ramayana. And he would be so absorbed in those pastimes that when he heard that Mother Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, he immediately told his soldiers and army that please let us go, we have to help Lord Ramchandra, we have to protect Sita, we have to get Sita back. And he actually, his commander-in-chief, his army, they all started, and he was just not listening to anybody. So they were saying, this is just a pastime. Saying, no, I have to go and help Lord Ramchandra. All Sugriv and Hanumanji is helping, and even I have to go. And he kept on going ahead with all his army, and he entered an ocean, and he was entering the ocean deeper and deeper, and finally he had to be told that, please, Mother Sita is already back with Lord Ramchandra. You come back. So he was so absorbed in the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. So he's showing by his example that when we hear from Ramayana or Bhagavatam, we should be completely absorbed in such pastimes and get lot of knowledge from that which we can apply in our day-to-day life. In fact, after that incident, his ministers ordered that Brahmana that never speak the pastime of Ram separating from Sita. We should only talk about the pastime where Ram and Sita are united. So we see here that whenever we talk about Sita Ram, Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, the first name is always of the goddess. There is energy and there is energetic. There is Shakti and Shaktivan. You cannot separate Shakti from Shaktivan. The goddess of fortune represents the principle of mercy, and Lord represents the principle of justice or punishment. Lord is always eager to punish or always eager to do justice, but goddess of fortune, she is always protecting the devotees. She is always showing the principle of mercy. We can see that Lord Ram, he killed Ravana. He killed so many demons, but whenever Mother Sita was present with Lord Ramchandra, those demons, they were not killed, but they were actually just, little bit punishment was given and they were released. For example, Shurpanakha. Shurpanakha came to separate Ram from Sita. Ravana came to separate Sita from Ram, and Shurpanakha came to separate Ram from Sita. But because it was in the presence of Mother Sita, Shurpanakha was not killed. She was just punished, her nose was cut off and she was sent off. Even we see that the crow, Jayanta, who came actually to disturb Mother Sita when Sita and Ram were sitting, and afterwards when Lord Ramchandra came to know about Jayanta, he wanted to kill Jayanta. But Jayanta kept on going to so many different people for help, but nobody could help. Say, if Ram wants to kill you, none of us can help you. But then he took shelter of Mother Sita, that please protect me. And when Mother Sita requested Lord Ramchandra that please forgive him, he was forgiven. So Srila Prabhupada also mentions that we should never approach Krishna alone. We should always approach through Goddess of Fortune, Srimati Radharani. Because Srimati Radharani is such a great devotee that she will tell Krishna, he is a better devotee than me, please accept. And because Srimati Radharani will tell, Krishna will accept. So we must understand that whenever we want to approach the Lord, it should be done through the Shakti or Srimati Radharani, or for that matter Sita Devi. If we understand the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra and Sita, Lord Ram and Sita were united. And this union was done by Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, the word Vishwamitra means that one who is the friend of the entire universe. And because he was a friend of entire universe, he brought Lord Ram and Sita together. He was responsible for Lord Ram getting married to Sita. If we understand how this union happened, that Vishwamitra came to Dashrath Maharaj saying that we need your sons to protect us from the demons. But actually the internal purpose was he wanted Ram to come to Mithila and get married to Sita. So when Vishwamitra approached Dashrath, he was very afraid that how can my two young sons, I can give it to you because I can come, my entire army can come. He said, no, I want only two of them. And Ram and Lakshman went with Vishwamitra Muni. They killed so many demons and finally he took them to Mithila, where he knew that Janak Maharaj had organized a very big Swayamvar to get his daughter married. And what was the speciality of this Swayamvar? That he had a very, very special bow which was given to him by Lord Shiva and Parshuram. When Mother Sita was very, very young, at young age, she would sometimes enter the room where the bow was kept. Sometimes she would be playing with some flower balls, sometimes she would be playing with her friends. And when she would enter this special room where the bow was kept, Maharaj Janak saw that she could easily pick up that bow and she would clean that bow and she would go underneath the bow. And otherwise, he had so many men to lift that bow. So when first time he saw this, he realized that if my daughter can so easily pick up this bow at least she should marry somebody who can, use this bow. Somebody has to be more powerful than her. And that was his condition, that my daughter will marry any Kshatriya who will actually lift the bow and he can actually use the bow. And as we know in Ramayana, that in this Swayamvar, many Kshatriyas came, they could not even lift the bow. Even Ravana came. And when Ravan was trying to lift the bow, his fingers were crushed. And finally, Lord Ramchandra asked Vishwamitra Muni, he took his permission that, can I try? And Janak Maharaj was thinking what this child will do. And he came forward and he not only lifted the bow, he picked up the bow, he put the string, and ultimately the bow broke. He was so powerful. And at that time, Janak Maharaj requested that now Sita will get married to Lord Ramchandra. But what was Lord Ramchandra's answer? No, I broke the bow, but the decision of marriage I cannot take. You have to ask my father. And Janak Maharaj was in anxiety. What will happen? He said, no, decision of my marriage will be taken by my father. You have to send the information to my father, and if he agrees, then only I will get married. So it's a very sweet pastime where we see that both Lord Ramchandra and Sita ji, they came from a very, their backgrounds, both of them took birth in a very, royal families where the devotees in the previous generation were very powerful. Lord Ramchandra took birth in the dynasty where the Amrish Maharaj was there, Harishchandra was there, Bhagirath, who was responsible for getting Ganges on the planet Earth. Just imagine that King Bhagirath did this to just somehow other give mercy to all, deliver all the people from his dynasty. But we all are still benefited by the presence of Mother Ganga. This was done thousands of years ago by his tapasya, but all of us are still getting the benefit of Mother Ganga, where we can take bath, we can, just sitting next to Ganga, you can purify yourselves. And who was Mother Sita's previous generation? King Nimi. And King Nimi was such a powerful king, and such a devoted king, that when he was performing one yajna, he had organized some brahmana, but at that time that brahmana was called in the heavenly planet by Indra. So here King Nimi was waiting, and the muhurat was going, so he called some other brahmana to perform the yajna. And when that yajna was performed, the brahmana from the heavenly planet appeared again, and he cursed King Nimi. But all the other brahmanas, by counter cursing, they revived King Nimi, but King Nimi said, no, I do not want to remain alive. If this brahmana has given me the curse, I want to accept the curse. But they had no other son. So then they churned the body of King Nimi, and by churning the body of King Nimi, the personality who appeared was Janak. Janak is actually a surname. All the people, all the kings who came later on, they were called different Janaks. And Sita ji also appeared, as we know, her divine birth. It was not from the union of two parents, but it was from the Bhumi Devi. That's why we have different names of Sita Devi. Vaidehi means no deha. Maithili means one who is the princess of Mithila. Janki, daughter of Janak. And when we see that when Lord Ram and Sita were united, there's a very sweet pastime. That in nowadays what we see in the marriages, that at the time when Sita ji wanted to garland Lord Ramchandra, all the Kshatriyas, they carried Lord Ramchandra very high. So that Sita ji cannot garland Lord Ramchandra. And Sita ji was thinking, what should I do? And at that time, who came to help? Lakshman. What did Lakshman do? He paid obeisances to Lord Ram. So as soon as Lakshman paid obeisances, Lord Ram looked down to bless Lakshman, and immediately Sita garlanded Lord Ramchandra. So we can see that Lord Ram and Sita were united, and who was always with them was Lakshman. So without the presence of Guru, or without the presence of senior devotees, there is no chance that Lord Ram can be united with Sita, or we all can get Sita Sita is also personification of bhakti. And as we know, that Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavana Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. It is only by the mercy of the Guru and only by the mercy of Krishna that you can get this Bhakti Lata Bij in your heart. So it is only by the presence of Lakshman actually Sita was united with Ram, and we can get the personification of bhakti in our heart in the form of Sita by the presence of Guru. We can see that when Lord Ram and Sita came to Ayodhya, they had very nice time. And in fact, Lord Ramchandra, who at that time came from a Kshatriya family, and the kings during that time would have so many wives. In fact, we know that Dashrath had almost 363 wives. Because Parshuram had decided that he would kill all the Kshatriyas. Only if they are getting married, on that day he would not kill them. So whenever Parshuram came, Dashrath kept on marrying, so that he was protected. So that's how he had so many wives. But Lord Ramchandra took a decision that I will marry only one wife. As we see in this purport also, Eka Patni Vrata, that I will never marry anybody else except Sita. So we can see that Sita and Ram were completely united, and it was a time for Ram's coronation. And at that time, Kaikeyi decided that Bharat would be the king and Ram would be sent to the forest. So Ram wanted to accept this decision, and he went to tell Mother Sita that I will be going to the forest. He entered her room and he told her that it is the decision of my parents, my father, that I will be going to the forest. But I request you that you stay here and you take care of my parents. You perform the austerities and look after my parents, look after my mother, look after the younger brother and their wives. But Sita ji was not ready. He said, no Ram, I want to come with you. And Ram was trying to tell her, no, in the forest the life is not easy. You are coming from a palace, you are a princess. You will have to walk bare feet. There will be thorns, no food to eat. There may be animals who may attack you, or some demon will try to kidnap you. But Sita ji said, when my father got me married to you, he said, I should always remain with you. A chaste wife's position is always with the husband. Whatever situation the husband is in, whether he is in a forest or whether he is in the palace, a chaste wife's position is always to serve the husband in any condition of life. And she said, I definitely want to come with you. But still Lord Ramchandra was trying to convince her that please don't come. He was trying to tell from different angles. And finally, we can see this is only one time in the entire life that Sita ji was little strong. And she told Lord Ramchandra, these are exact words from Ramayana, that I think that my father Janak has married to me somebody who is not a woman. And when she used that word, Lord Ramchandra said, okay, you come with me. And she was very strong. She was very strong because she wanted to make sure that she is with her husband. She did not want to give up the company of her husband, whether in pleasure or pain, whether in happiness or distress. She always wanted to accompany. And the pastime in Ramayana is so deep that when Kaikeyi gave robes to wear, the tree barks, Lakshman wore, Ram wore, and when it was given to Sita ji, she did not know how to wear. And then Lord Ramchandra was personally putting on those tree barks to her. And Vasishtha Muni started crying. And he started cursing Kaikeyi, that you have given banishment only to Ram. Why Sita should wear these clothes? Because it was very painful. Everybody was crying. But Sita ji said, no, whatever Ram does, I will accept. So here we can see the loyalty, chastity of Mother Sita. And when they went to the forest, it was not easy for them. It was so difficult. But still, she was always submissive and loving to her husband. And we know the pastime that how Shurpanakha came in the forest and she got attracted to Lord Ram. when she got attracted to Ram, she wanted to marry Ram. And between Ram and Lakshman, they kept playing her like a football. That, no, he will marry you or you will marry. And then finally, Shurpanakha's nose was cut and she went to Ravan. Because she was insulted so badly, she went to Ravan and she instigated Ravan that please go and you should possess Sita. She's so beautiful, she's so good. That person in the forest, he should not possess Sita. You should possess Sita. And that's how Ravan came. When Ravan came, he approached Maricha. We can see in this pastime that Maricha had already was defeated by Lord Ram. So when Ravan was talking about Ram, Maricha could not even speak the name Ram because he was so scared, so afraid. So when Ravan made the plan, explained the plan to Maricha, Maricha was not ready to follow that plan. But then Ravana said, I will kill you. If you don't take the form of the golden deer and allure Sita, I will kill you. And then Maricha started thinking, better to be killed by the hands of Lord Ram than Ravan. But we understand here that he wanted to be killed by Lord Ram, not by Ravan. But he was killed by Lord Ram, but when he was doing service to Ravana. It is better to be killed by a demon by serving Krishna rather than killed by Lord Ram and you are serving Ravana. We can see this in the example of Mother Ladini, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, who gave her life in service of Srila Prabhupada and devotees, and she was killed by a demon. But she chose this principle because she was such a great devotee. So when Maricha came in the form of golden deer and he was trying to allure Mother Sita was actually attracted by that golden deer. And when she saw, she described the golden deer as Abhiram. Ram, this is more beautiful than you. And said, please get me that deer. And at that time, Lakshman was explaining to Ram, this is not a deer. This is a demon. You cannot have such a deer. And at that time, Lord Ramchandra told Lakshman that actually Lakshman, Sita has never asked me for anything. This is the first time she is asking me for something, that too in the forest. Even if it is a demon, I will kill the demon. But let me show her how much I love her and I want to get that deer. And he told Lakshman that you protect Mother Sita. And Lord Ramchandra went. And as per the plan, he killed Marich, and Marich, instead of speaking Ram, he started talking about Lakshman, please come and save me. And at that time, Mother Sita was very disturbed. And she told Lakshman that please go and help your brother. And Lakshman was very confident. Here you can see the conflict between concern and confidence. Sita ji, out of love for Ram, was concerned. And Lakshman, out of love for Ram, he was confident that this cannot be Ram's voice. And Sita ji, so sometimes we see conflicts among the devotees also out of concern and out of confidence. And here we can see that Sita ji was actually deluded. Sometimes the great South Indian acharyas, they say that even goddess Sita was allured by a golden deer. So what about living entities like us? If we get attracted to the object of senses and we start following them, then we'll be easily separated from Ram. When Sita got attracted to that deer, she was separated from Ram. And who was telling her? Lakshman. The Guru and the devotees are telling us, don't get attracted to the material energy. But somehow or other, Sita could not listen at that time. And she sent Lakshman. In fact, she used very, very strong words. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shradha Gokulanand. Sita was told by Lakshman that no, I need to be here. And at that time, Lakshman uses very, very harsh words. Sita uses very, very harsh words to Lakshmanji. But actually I know why did you come here. All these years you came here because you want to enjoy me in the absence of Lord Ram. And at that time Lakshman decided, no, I will go. But he made a line that you should not cross this line. As soon as he left, because Lakshman knew that this is the plan of some great demon. And that's why he did not want to leave Sita. But Sita ji, by her concern, she actually forced Lakshman to leave her. And at that time, Ravana came in the form of a great sadhu. And here we can see Sita ji had such great qualities of love and respect for sadhus. In fact, she always wanted to stay in the forest. When Lord Ramchandra ji was telling Sita ji that you cannot come to the forest, at that time Sita ji tells Lord Ramchandra that an astrologer has told my father that most of my life I will spend in the forest. Saying, I think this is the time that I should go in the forest. So why she wanted to be in the forest? Because she wanted association of the sadhus. Many times when we hear that Lord Sita ji went with Lord Ramchandra in the forest, and it was so many austerities. But I sometimes feel with my deep realization, it is my deep realization that Sita ji actually was the happiest person. All the happiness which she got in her life was during that period in the forest. Because Lord Ramchandra, her husband, was all the time with her. He did not have to go for any job. There were no in-laws to serve. And there was all the time they were having association of the sadhus. This was the best period, I think, of their life. And after that, there was only suffering. So Sita ji, actually, she had so much love and respect for sadhus that when she gave dan to bhiksha to Ravana, Ravana told her that please come out. And she did not realize she stepped out of that line and Ravana kidnapped her. And that time she realized, oh, I should have listened to Lakshman. And she was kidnapped and she was taken to Ashokavan. In fact, Ravana tried to allure her. That I have so much wealth. He was trying to talk about himself. I will make you the best queen. But she was so chaste and loyal to Ram that I do not want your kingdom. I do not want your palace. I do not want your wealth. So when she was not allured by wealth, he tried to convince her by physical strength. That I will harass you. And he was harassing her, torturing her. And when she did not listen to that, he said, I will kill you and I will eat you up. He tried to use all the different strategies to actually convince Goddess Sita. And it was very difficult for her. But still, in all those situations, she was loyal and chaste to Lord Ram. She never even for a single moment thought that should I forget Ram or should I do something else. This is the chastity of Mother Sita. This is what is her power. A woman gets her power by her chastity. Srila Prabhupada writes in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the Mandodari is crying next to Ravana's body, Prabhupada writes that as a man gets his spiritual strength by brahmacharya, a woman gets her spiritual strength by chastity. And that is why we see the great chaste woman, Mandodari, even though she was queen of Ravana, she is still praised today because she was very, very chaste to Ravana. So when a woman is chaste, she ultimately attains the heavenly planet, or if the husband is devotee, she goes back to Godhead. So the principle of chastity is very, very important for a woman, especially for a married woman. And here we can see in the life of Mother Sita, she is demonstrating this again and again and again. When Hanumanji came to meet Sita, at that time she was so upset that she wanted to commit suicide. But actually Hanumanji started glorifying Lord Ramchandra. And when he was glorifying Lord Ramchandra, Sita ji realized that this is somebody who is very, very close to Lord Ram. And then she said that, now since you have come, give my message to Lord Ram, that I will, please come fast and kill this Ravana and release me. And when Hanumanji went back to Lord Ramchandra and he gave the news, Lord Ramchandra was so happy, so pleased. He said, I am so happy with you, I am so grateful to you, but I have nothing to repay you. The pleasure you have given me by this news is so great that I cannot do anything except give a hug to you. And Lord Ramchandra embraced Hanumanji. So we can see that whenever Sita and Ram are united by any devotee, Krishna becomes very happy. Any devotee who helps Srila Prabhupada in bringing the souls who have forgotten Krishna back to Krishna, Krishna is very happy. That devotee becomes very, very dear to Krishna. Ravana was killed in the great battle, and finally Lord Ramchandra sent Hanumanji to give the message that Ravana is killed. And when Ravana came to Mother Sita and was telling her that how Ravana is killed and now Lord Ramchandra will come, and he was still so angry with all the demons that he wanted to kill all the demons who were sitting next to Mother Sita. So at that time, the only one time Sitaji tells Hanumanji that you are a monkey. You should not do unnecessary violence. And at that time, Sitaji tells a very nice story. She tells a story of a hunter who wanted to kill a tiger. And when he was in the forest, he wanted to kill the tiger, but somehow the tiger attacked the hunter, and hunter was running away and he climbed up a tree. On that tree, there was also a bear sitting. So this hunter did not know what to do. So he could not go down because the tiger was down and the bear was here. But somehow or other he told hunter, please, please I take your shelter, let me stay here. So the hunter said, okay, the bear said, okay, let's stay here up. And then they decided, because tiger was still waiting, it became night. So the hunter did not know what to do. So he said, I will go to sleep, and bear said, okay, I will protect you when you are sleeping, and when you wake up, I will go to sleep and you protect me. So when the hunter went to sleep, the bear was protecting, and at that time, the tiger is talking to the bear. Just push him down. I will eat him up and you will be peaceful. The bear said, no, I cannot do like this. And then the night passed, and then the hunter woke up, and it was the time for the bear to sleep. So when the bear went to sleep, again the hunter was telling the tiger was telling same thing to the hunter. Please push him down. And the man started thinking, yes, if I push the bear down, then the tiger will eat the bear, and then I can easily come down and go, because tiger's hunger will be satisfied and I will be protected. So he was trying to push the bear, and the bear woke up. So the tiger started talking now to the bear. See, you were protecting the hunter, but actually hunter was betraying you. He was trying to push you down. At that time the bear said, the tiger was telling that you push him down, now he doesn't deserve your shelter. At that time the bear told, he can betray me, but my good nature doesn't allow me to betray him. I will still protect him. So Sita ji told this story to Hanuman, that if a animal like bear can have such good virtue, how can I allow you to kill all these demons, even though they were demons, but I was under their protection. So I will not betray them. You should not kill them. And after that we know that Vibhishan brought Mother Sita in palanquin in front of Lord Ram. And Lord Ram, when Sita ji came, he did not look at Sita ji. We can imagine that after 1 year of separation, the husband and wife, they were meeting in a public place. But Lord Ramchandra was not even looking at Sita ji. Why? Because Acharya has explained that he was very upset that she did not listen to Lakshman. And then Ramchandra tells actually Lakshman, that you can tell Sita that I have won the war, I have killed Ravana, but I cannot accept her because she has stayed in the house of some other man. So she can do whatever she wants. At that time, Mother Sita, she became very serious. And she said, Lord Ram, not even for one moment I have thought of somebody else. I am completely loyal to you, completely chaste to you, and I want to prove my chastity to you. And that's why she tells Lakshman, bring the wood and put on fire. If I am chaste, if I have not even for a moment deviated in my mind, in my words, in my heart from my Lord Ramchandra, then I will be protected by fire, or otherwise the fire should burn me. And when she entered the fire, everyone was crying. Like all the monkeys, they were eager to know that who is this goddess Sita for whom we fought? Who is this personality for whom such a big war was there? And then finally, fire god himself came out and he told Lord Ramchandra that she's pure and she's yours. And then Lord Ramchandra brought Mother Sita back to Ayodhya, where Lord Ramchandra was coronated as a king and she became the queen. But as a perfect king, he would always want to know what is happening in his kingdom. So when he sent his few spies and he himself saw that still some of the citizens had a doubt that how can Lord Ram accept Sita? So he took a decision which was very, very heavy for him. It was not easy for Lord Ramchandra to take this decision. He took this decision that I will send goddess Sita in the forest. And the way he told her that you always would like to go to the forest and stay in the ashram, so I am sending you to the Valmiki Muni's ashram. And Lakshman, please drop her. And Lakshman knew why she was sent. So when he took Mother Sita in the chariot, his hands were trembling, he was continuously crying. And after some time, Mother Sita realized that why Lakshman is crying. So she started asking Lakshman, what happened? Why are you crying? And at that time, Lakshman had to explain the truth. That actually, Mother, you will never see Lord Ramchandra again. He has asked me to send you to the forest. And what was Sitaji's answer? If this is what is wish of my Lord Ram, if this is the way he wants me to serve him, I will accept this instruction. I will accept his decision. And she went to the forest, she gave birth to Love and Kush, and she was continuously praying and performing a lot of austerity so that Lord Ramchandra is protected and Lord Ramchandra is happy. Not even for a moment she thought that, Lord Ramchandra, I gave up so many things for you. I gave up my father's house, I came with you in the forest, even I was not allured by Ravana, but this is what I get in return? No. She was only grateful and she accepted the decision of Lord Ramchandra with full willingness and gratitude. And we can see from this principle, as Prabhupada is writing in this purport, that chastity is a very, very important virtue. And we can translate for all of us loyalty to our spiritual master, loyalty to Srila Prabhupada. When we have this loyalty and we have this faith, then the mercy will flow. Many times we see that even in the case of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, because he was so loyal to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that he decided at that age, somehow or other, I have to follow the instruction of my Guru Maharaj. I have to go to the Western country and preach in English language. So he took up that process at such a late age, and it was not easy for him. To follow this instruction was very difficult. And it was not that just because he was very loyal to and faithful to his spiritual master, Krishna gave him everything. Krishna tested him. As Lord Ramchandra was testing Sita again and again, even Lord Krishna tested Srila Prabhupada. For one full year, when he was staying in America, he could not preach. Again he would go back to Jalduta. That maybe I should go back. But only that decision, no, my spiritual master wants me to stay here and preach, I will stay here. So he was very, very loyal and faithful to the instruction of his spiritual master. And because he was loyal and faithful, Krishna tested him again, but he gave him the complete mercy. So we can see that if we remain faithful and if we remain loyal to the spiritual master, to the instructions of Guru and Krishna, the mercy will flow. As it did in the case of Srila Prabhupada. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was leaving his home as Nimai Pandit, and at that time his wife Vishnupriya, she asked him that I have heard the news that you are going to leave me. And then finally Nimai Pandit said, yes, I am leaving. And what was her decision? If this is what is your decision, that if you want to take up the process of renunciation to deliver the entire world, I will not come between you and the living entities. I will serve you here and you can carry on in your service. I will not become the disturbance. I will just become the assistance. And at that time, Lord Chaitanya, we can see that such an intimate moment with Vishnupriya, he gave her two instructions. He said, there are only two realities in this world. There is only two things which are truth in this material world. One is the holy name of the Lord, and second, Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. Only these two things are actually the absolute truth. Everything else is temporary, everything else is illusion. So we can see that if we remain loyal to the spiritual master, loyal to Srila Prabhupada, and loyal in the community of devotees, because this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is quarrel and hypocrisy. But if we don't have that loving, faithful relationship with devotees, and there is no love and trust, that Maya will always try to separate us from Lord Ram. Maya will always, in the form of Ravana, will try to steal away Sita. Sita, as we said, is the bhakti personification. By the mercy of Guru, we have got this bhakti in our heart. And Ravan would always try to steal away that bhakti. Maya would always try to steal away that bhakti. Separate us from Ravan. Separate us from Lord Ram. Unless and until we are in the association of devotees. So we must understand, as Narottam Das Thakur has also said, there are Hari, Guru, Vaishnav and Bhagavad Gita. These are the only four truths. So if we remain loyal, chaste to Srila Prabhupada, and we remain in association of devotees, and we take shelter of the holy name, then we will be never separated from Lord Ram. And we will be always assist Lord Ram as Hanumanji, in the mood of Hanumanji, that how we can bring more and more people back to Lord Ram. So on this auspicious day of Sitaji's appearance day, we sincerely pray to Mother Sita that please give us that chastity, that loyalty to Srila Prabhupada's mission, that in any situation, in any condition, we never deviate from our devotion to Srila Prabhupada and to Sitaram and Radha Krishna. Hare Krishna.